Joe Siracusa. Joe, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us as always. So, have things settled at all since last week, or does the caravan roll on when it comes to Donald Trump?
Well, yeah, I think it's rolling on. In fact, Pete, the plot thickens. We have a couple impeachment articles that are at the doorstep of the Senate, and Nancy Pelosi won't deliver them, which means the president really hasn't been impeached yet, so they have to go across the line. I don't know what she's waiting for. Her opposite number in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, doesn't know what she's waiting for. Now, there's more evidence that the president calibrated his decision to withhold aid to Ukraine. And keep this in mind. How many Americans and Australians tomorrow want to fight for the independence of Ukraine if the Russians move in? I mean, you know, I think all the caution with Ukraine was worth the effort. Now, did he do something wrong? I don't think so, because he was probing the honesty thing or the corruption, whether it was his rival or not. He was looking for things, but he has broad powers. As president, Pete, he could do things that you and I can't even dream of doing. And so, look, and I also think around the Christmas and the New Year's table, I think he's going to have some very tough family discussions. There's going to be pressure on him within his inner circle to call it a one-term president. You know, he doesn't have to do two. Doing two, he's 73 years old. If he hangs around one more time, he's probably going to drop dead of a heart attack. So he may surprise you at the end of the day, particularly if he senses that his children are going to go under the firing line, because these House committees are not done with the Trump family yet.
What's Pelosi playing at there, Joe, though? I don't quite get that. Is she just trying to drag it into an election year to keep that negativity against Donald Trump, bearing in mind that they probably can't beat him at the general election?
Well, I think she just kind of went walkabout. She has no explanation for what she did. She wants to put pressure on the Senate. Good luck with that. That's one thing the Founding Fathers would not have approved of. I just think she lost her nerve at the last minute. The leader of the Senate said this was slapdash articles, and we might not even want to. Yeah, he could reject them with a simple majority without even having a trial. And I think he put the fear of the Lord into her, and she backed off. And so she got the bright idea, well, I'll hold these back yet. So the senator's laughing about it, and Trump doesn't know what to do about it.
Joe, just broadly speaking now, I mean, I was just want to get your thoughts on where you think, you know, the biggest threat is going to come from next year. You know, there's always something going on somewhere. We do have the US election next year, which will probably be one of the bigger international stories. But from your point of view, where do you see problems that probably haven't been solved that will no doubt continue into next year? So that in itself forming the biggest threat.
That's a great question, Pete. Look, every year the Foreign Affairs in New York sends out all these questionnaires to people like me. What do you see as the top threat in the world? And for a number of years in a row, I've chosen North Korea because it's the wild card. We don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to do to their neighbors to draw in the United States. The Chinese have been very clear about it. If the North Koreans attack America, America can do whatever it wants. And America cannot attack North Korea because it'd be at war with China. So I'd say North Korea is important. I think the Iranian issue is important. I think Russian revisionism in Northern Europe is important. I mean, they're not done with the Baltic states or Ukraine. And I think we're going to have more problems with the Turks. And Pete, we got this thing called Brexit. It took the United States 12 years to leave the British Empire in 1782. How long is this going to take? And at what cost? And so I saw Blair yesterday on American television, and he was dying in that interview trying to explain what happens next, because no one knows what's going to happen next. So we got the Brexit follow through. We got the Iranians. The North Koreans are always good for a laugh. And this guy, Chairman Kim, he has no boundaries. And I think he may stumble into something he doesn't want to. Keep in mind, it took 1 year after the British Neville Chamberlain went to see Hitler before war broke out in Europe. Everybody thought we had peace in our time. Well, we had nothing of the kind. And Donald Trump's world is very, very calibrated. It's based on all these speed dials on his phone. But at the end of the day, if there's a problem with the Chinese, the South China Sea or North Korea, as my friends in the military tell me, There ain't going to be a call to the White House at 3 in the morning. The American armed forces have their orders to react, and react they will.
It's funny that you bring up North Korea, you bring up Iran. I mean, that they are the same issues that keep popping up every year, aren't they? But they just never get sorted, despite there supposedly being peace talks between, North Korea and Donald Trump. They didn't really get anywhere, did they?
No, what they did was they got to get to know each other a little bit. Had a hamburger and a Coke. That's always fun. That's all. I mean, there have been great leaders in the world who were cousins who wound up going to war with each other, like Nikki and the Tsar of Russia and the Imperial German leader. They all knew each other. They were great friends. It didn't stop them from going to war. I mean, because you have the atmospherics of kind of a mood. Now, we're in that television era, in the social media era, where we see something and we think, well, we've got to buy ourselves a little bit of time here. And I think, Pete, that's the important thing for your viewers as we think ahead, as we enter this, as we continue on in a very uncertain and dangerous world, is both of those things. We got to buy ourselves a little bit of time here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is Donald Trump the right guy to buy a little bit of time? I don't want to dump on Trump. Everybody else is. But I think at the end of the day, he just might call it a day and go home because he's 73. He's got everything he's wanted. He'll say one morning, hey, I did as much in my presidency as most people do in two. I'm going home.
Yeah,
so,
I don't think he'll do that, though. I think there's pride. I think he wants to be... He won't be considered one of the best presidents ever if he's only a one-term president. This is just my opinion anyway.